So, first of all, what is Ubuntu? Ubuntu is a distribution of the GNU plus Linux system. There are over 1,000 distributions, variants of the GNU/Linux system. Ubuntu is one of them. Most of these distributions have ethical flaws. For instance, most of them contain some non-free software. Effectively, they say their priority is not your freedom, it's just convenience. So if you install one of those non-free distros, well, you're closer to freedom than if you ran Windows or some Apple system, but you're not all the way there. But even worse, because they present convenience rather than freedom as their goal, they're teaching people not to value freedom. And by doing that, they're doing a deep form of harm to our whole community. Ubuntu is one of them. It's a variant of GNU/Linux that installs various non-free programs and proposes even more. But Ubuntu has an unusual flaw too, which is its spyware. Malicious functionalities to do things like spy on the user. Well, those are typically found in proprietary software. They're rare in free software, but Ubuntu is one example. Ubuntu has a desktop feature to search for something, and they're trying to make it an all-purpose, convenient way of searching for things. And when the user searches this way, it sends the user's search terms to Canonical, the company that makes and distributes Ubuntu. And this already is spyware. You know, when you search for something, it shouldn't by default send anything to a company. That should be something you do optionally, knowing you're doing it each time, so that you think about, do I want to show somebody else that I'm looking for this, or do I just want to look in my own computer? In any case, what Canonical does is, Canonical has a list of Amazon products, and it sees which Amazon products relate to those search terms, and it tells Amazon to display ads for those products on the user's computer. And since Amazon is sending those ads directly to the user's computer, Amazon gets to find out something about that user too. Namely, that user was sent these ads. Probably the user was searching for such and such. This is egregious. And we need to teach Canonical a lesson. We need to teach Canonical not to spy on its users. He had to apologize for calling me childish, because people jumped on him for that. But, yeah, the point is that they didn't apologize for spying on users. Of course not. That was a business decision. And unless we push them hard, they won't change it and they won't apologize for it. Actually, I'm more concerned with whether they change it than whether they apologize for it. You know, I'm not so much interested in making them eat crow as in making them stop. Because one of the advantages that we cite for free software is the users can protect themselves from malicious features. And we can protect ourselves from malicious features in Ubuntu by changing it, by making a modified version which doesn't spy. And there already are modified versions that don't spy. But the point is, what we really want to be able to say to people is the dissuasive force, the deterrent force of the community's rejection of malicious functionalities is so strong that you could be pretty confident that it won't even try to spy on you. And to recover that, we've got to convince the Ubuntu developers to stop spying. That's why this issue is important. Of course, they will try to spin it a different way based on different values. They say convenience above all. Look at the convenience we're giving you. And by the way, Amazon will give us some money and we could use that to write some free programs, which in and of itself is good, but doesn't justify perverting free software. I mean, it doesn't justify something egregious. So they've got to stop it. Now, as for putting Ubuntu GNU/Linux in phones, well, I don't know what those are going to do. Maybe they'll have the same spyware feature. I suppose they probably will, but we'll see what the facts are. I also expect that they will contain non-free programs.
It's great to be joined in studio today by Richard Stallman, who is founder and leader of the free software movement. You can learn more about this at gnu.org. That's gnu.org. You're a very colorful character, and in my research of you, I came across so many things that I want to talk about. But let's start with maybe what you're most known for, which is being involved in the free software movement. I know that you don't like when people sometimes incorrectly conflate GNU and Linux. We're talking about two different things. So let's just start there. Talk to us about what is GNU and then how does Linux relate to that?
Okay, well, the standard question is, what's GNU?
Right.
And the standard answer is GNU's not Unix.
Right.
Because that's what GNU stands for. It's a recursive acronym. It stands for GNU's not Unix. This is programmer's humor, but it has a serious meaning, of course. GNU is the name of the operating system whose development I launched in January 1984. Mm-hmm. And I decided to make it similar to, that is, you use it the same as Unix, an existing operating system. But the special thing about GNU was it would be entirely free software, entirely freedom-respecting software. The users would have full control over everything in it. Whereas with proprietary systems like Unix or Windows or Mac OS or stuff in those mobile devices,
right,
those are not free software. The users do not control them. A company controls those programs, and the programs control the users.
And is that sort of what underlies your advocacy for free software?
Absolutely.
This opposition to companies, big corporations, typically
it doesn't matter whether they're big or small.
Okay.
The point is, we should control the programs we use and not vice versa. So every program is either free or proprietary. If it's free, that means the users control the program. They control the program separately and they control it collectively. At the same time, both kinds of control are there.
Now, today, there are many more examples of the proprietary than in 84.
Actually, I didn't finish what I was saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I do pause. I speak in paragraphs sometimes. So the point is that's free software. But if the users don't control the program, then instead the program controls the users and the proprietor, some company typically, controls the program. So that program is an instrument which gives the proprietor power over users. It's a tool to subjugate people with. That's the injustice that we are trying to put an end to. First step, we escape from it ourselves. I don't use any